My name is Cristy Limegrover. I'm your Success Habits Integrator. Today is day 6 of Positive Success Habits Training, Goals and Dreams. I'm excited too. I'm so happy you're here. So this weekend I was doing some learning about Black Lives Matter and systemic racism. And while we're not going to jump into that, I just want to encourage you to learn about it as well, just because it is very prevalent in what's going on now. And we're going to talk about goals and dreams. And I think this is a really big topic. Live life like it's an opportunity and don't take it for granted. Make sure you're showing up every day to be the best version of yourself. And by doing that, the best way to do that is through small success habit changes versus trying to just change your whole life. But if you change your environment, you make the conscious decision to go after your goals and dreams, you're able to achieve more. Hi, thanks for joining. I'm super excited to be talking about goals and dreams. Thank you for showing up. So talking about how life is an opportunity. Don't let time slip by. That's the only thing we all have in common. And when you're just letting life pass you by and you're not trying to achieve a goal or a dream, what's the purpose, right? So I want to say that 99% of decisions are reversible. You can come in and you can make the choice to show up and you can choose not to. And that is 100% your choice. But when you're pushing yourself and you're trying to be better than you were yesterday, that's okay. That's the best way to go forward and the best way to live life. What's not reversible is inaction. So you cannot improve if you're not taking action. You won't ever move forward if you're not trying something new. Don't live in a scared mindset or a fixed mindset saying that you are unable to do things. Show up with a growth mindset and a learning mindset and a positive mindset and watch your life transform. If you're fully living, if you're not living in a scared atmosphere, if you're living fully, you should be willing to lean into your fears. But you have to do something. You have to let that thing that's bigger than you, that you're afraid of, maybe that's applying for a new job or going back to the gym or reading a big book, whatever scares you, that's where your biggest growth opportunity is. Lean into your fear, have a growth and learning mindset, and grow from the opportunity. As we apply this to goals and dreams, the wrong action is no action. So try to show up and be relevant and present by creating small success habit changes. Don't just sit and be idle and be invisible. And the one person you can't let down is yourself. So make sure you're showing up and you're being bold and you're trying to be better than you were yesterday. I really am inspired by Elon Musk in the sense that he had a dream. His dream was to invent electric cars, and his dream is to send people to Mars. There's nobody else really doing what he's doing, but he's an innovator. He's right at the forefront. And the way he's making his dream a reality is he's set goals for himself. He's set small, tangible action items to get him from one step to the next. And those goals are attainable. So as we talked about last week with a SMART goal, if it's specific, measurable, thank you. If it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, you're going to take action. You're going to keep moving forward, as opposed to if you just set a big, they're called BHAGs, a big, hairy, audacious goal. If you're just loosely setting a goal and not writing it down, you're not going to grow. So I invite you to be bold. I invite you to attack your goals and your dreams. Decide what you want and act like it's already yours. use what we talked about last week in visualizing it. Visualize where you want to go and how you're going to get there, and then back into that. Believe in yourself, and don't let the small fixed mindset convince you that you can't get there, because time's going to pass anyway. And why can't you be where you want to be 5 years from now? Why can't you continue to grow today to get to the point that you want to be in 5 years? It's going to take time. It's going to take hard work, but you have to show up for yourself. So today we're actually going to talk about 4 acronyms. They're going to be all words that y'all should know. Let me grab a pen here. And if there's any issue with the color I picked, please let me know. But one we're going to be talking about is fear. One is truth. One is goals. And one is dreams. And I'm going to break it down into an acronym so that way we can kind of work through those. Now, we're not really going to be standing here talking about fear and truth, but I want to make this a prevalent point, and I'd recommend, or I'd invite you don't have to do it, but I'd invite you to write these down so you can kind of remember them. So number 1 is fear, F-E-A-R, and it's, maybe you've heard this before, false evidence appearing real. So when we talk about fear, we've convinced ourselves that we can't do it because we believe it's real. I'm afraid to quit my job because I don't know what the next step is. I'm afraid to lean into something that's scary because we don't know the outcome. But what we do know is that the outcome that we're already doing, we're unhappy with, right? You want to make changes to be better, more positive, more successful. So why would you let fear be your focus? Remove that from your vocabulary. Sorry, I hear my dogs. They're excited. But we're going to keep going through this. So don't let fear stop you. Figure out why you're afraid of whatever you're trying to tackle. I can't tell you what you're trying to tackle right now, but hopefully this is relevant in your life in that you're trying to overcome an obstacle. Do not let fear stop you. So there's fear. Then I said we'd talk about a little bit about truth. And while I don't want to write this one down, okay, I'll write it down. So truth, just so that way you guys can see it, is taking real understanding to heart. And for me, when I read that, and I just Googled this, so I didn't make this up, but and when I Google searched what's an acronym for truth, because I've heard this before, is believe in your truth, believe in your core passion, believe in your core values. What's your mission? That's why we went over all of that last week. We've already talked about your vision. You've got to visualize where you want to go. We've talked about deciding to take action. We've talked about holding yourself accountable. Don't let your fears overcome your truths. Understand that you have to take action to be better than you were yesterday. It's not just going to happen, but if you're committed to improving and having a positive success habit implemented into your life, little changes over time are how you're going to expedite your life. Yeah, that's how you're going to become better. Expedite your life. Sorry, helps if I use the right words. So we've talked a little bit about fear and truth, but I'm really excited to jump into goals and dreams. So a question I have is, how often are you actually evaluating your goals? Are you doing it in January when we do New Year's resolutions? Are you doing it daily? How much are you showing up for yourself? So if you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're checking in daily, because if you're checking daily, that means that you're consciously aware of what you're eating, how much water you're consuming, and you're probably going to weigh yourself. Don't be discouraged by that because you won't see it right away, but you have to measure what's happening, right? Maybe you're doing it weekly. And I think a good example of evaluating your goals weekly is if you're trying to pay off debt. You really have to watch how you're spending your money. And if you're trying to pay down your debt, obviously you can't be buying things every day because that balance isn't going to work. Well, maybe you're checking in and you're evaluating your goals monthly. And I think a good example would be if you are trying to save money. Because if you're trying to save money inadvertently and pay down your debt, you don't need to be measuring both. That might be a little bit overwhelming. But if you're looking at saving money monthly, maybe you can set that goal of, I want to try to save $75 this month. And in that, with you spending less and you monitoring your weekly payments, you're able to save that money. Perhaps you're evaluating your goals quarterly. I know I have a lot of business goals that I evaluate quarterly that are toward my annual goal. And maybe you're trying to evaluate your goals annually, or maybe twice a year, biannually. That's honestly not enough time. You're not giving yourself credit to the fact that you're actually going to succeed in your goals, because what gets measured gets managed. And if you're not actually showing up several times in the year to look at your goals, you're not going to achieve them. I really liked this quote by Jim Rohn. He's a motivational speaker and a businessman. He said, dreams and goals can become magnets. And what he means by that is, like, the stronger the goal, the bigger the purpose, the more passion you have behind it, you're going to have a stronger pull. And it can take you through different seasons. And if you don't understand what I mean by seasons, what I'm saying is we go through these different seasons of life where we're growing, we're changing. Just think about the different seasons of winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I want to jump more into that later because I think that's important in success habit training. But today we're not going to get too deep into that. But just think about how you can grow during different seasons of your life. And if you make your dreams and goals so powerful, it can become like a magnet. I love that. So let's jump into goals and dreams. Now, goals are attainable. You can make smart goals. You can actually make smarter goals, which is a whole nother thing where you evaluate and reestablish your goals. But goals or milestones, rocks, plans, whatever you want to can use the word toward goal is awesome. Don't let that word intimidate you. And if you use a different word, if you're like, I hate the word goals, because I've met people like that, let me know what kind of word you use to attain your goals. What is your goal word? So when we look at the acronym for goal, it goes, again, I just got this from Google, go onward, always learning, something. I invite you to write this down and keep it in mind when you're setting your goals. You're always trying to do more. You're always trying to get further ahead. And when you set a SMART goal, a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goal, it can move you forward. When you're implementing little habit changes behind your goals, you can actually implement and see even more change. So what I like to do is I like to set a goal, and then I like to try to figure out how I can attain that goal. Oftentimes that's through 2 or 3 habit changes that will help me get to that goal. So for instance, a goal that I've been working on is doing batch work. And batch work means that when I'm creating content for my company, I'm doing it in sections. So if I'm writing content, I might come up with my ideas, and I might come up with 20 or 30 ideas. And then I'm going to get into the then I'm going to get into the drafting stage of it. So I'm going to write the content. I'm not going to get really deep into making sure it's perfectly edited. And then I'm going to get into the editing phase later, though. So if I'm coming up with these 20 concepts, and then I'm growing those and I'm writing out the content, and then I'm going in and I'm editing it, my flow is going so much more smoothly versus trying to write it one at a time. If I'm trying to set a goal that I'm going to drink more water, I'm going to keep my cup next to me. I'm going to make sure it's always full. I'm going to make sure it's full of good water too, at a temperature that I really enjoy drinking it, because it's going to make it easier for me to consume it versus having my cup in the other room and not even filling it up. I'm always going to be trying to strive to get a little bit further, always learning something more and taking myself to that next level. If I'm trying to work out more, I'm going to figure out ways to move my body throughout the day. I'm not going to just expect that I say it and it's come to fruition. I have to actually put in the effort and put in the work to get there. So I'm actually really excited to talk about the acronym DREAMS. And if you look in the Facebook group, I just posted in there a template that I like to use when I'm doing my journaling, because as I've mentioned several times, is if you're writing your dreams and your goals down and you're writing down your wins for the day, you are more likely to achieve them. You're more likely to 42% more likely to actually achieve your goals, because getting to your goal is not an accident and it takes hard work. And if it's a dream, that means it's still too elusive. You need to hone your dreams into your goals, but that doesn't mean to start off that they can't be one and the same. So I personally, when I'm thinking really broad picture, I like to write my goals and dreams down in the same area, because eventually my dreams can become my goals. But if I'm not writing it down, I'm not going to remember what my goals and dreams were. I might remember a couple here and there, but if I really want to transform and I really want to move forward in life, I need to be writing them down. So you can check out that template in the group if you're interested. But we'll talk about dreams right now. So D stands for dedication. You have to be dedicated to your dream. You have to be dedicated to your goal. You have to have a passion. You have to be smart in how you're planning these things out. You have to challenge yourself, because these dreams are too broad. They're too big. You have to want it more than you currently do in order to take you to that next step. You really have to dream it. You have to dream your goals, if that makes sense. So really be dedicated in learning and growing how to get to that next level. R is for routine. It is vital that you have a routine. It's important that you are keeping a habitual state, in the sense that if you want to wake up early, make sure you're waking up on time at the same time every day. If you want to go for a run, try to put it at the same time every day. Your body will get used to doing things like that. If you can't commit to the same time every day, at least make sure you're planning it out in your calendar. Because again, if it's not written down, it's probably not going to happen. Visualize where you want to go. Maybe you meditate. Maybe For me, I like to stretch at night. I enjoy doing it in the morning. It kind of wakes me up, but my routine is typically to do that at night because it winds me down. I'm able to sleep better at night when I'm doing my routine. When I work out in the morning, when I journal and I get all my thoughts out of my head, I'm writing them out. I'm writing down my goals, my dreams, and my 3 positives. Again, check out that worksheet. And when I'm really in my routine after we eat dinner and I decide I'm ready to stretch, and then I can go and I can relax and go to bed. That's the routine I've set for myself, and it has been a positive success habit for me in the sense that my days are a little bit structured and rigid. However, I've grown so much in the past couple of years because I have a routine, because I'm committed to my dreams and my goals, and I wouldn't have gotten here if it wasn't for routine and if it wasn't for writing down my dreams. So E stands for effort. You have to be committed. You have to put in the work. You have to show up for yourself. I mentioned Elon Musk earlier. Do you think that had he just said, hey, I want to send people to Mars, that would have actually happened? No, he's put in the effort. He has built a team. He has built a company, and he is making his dream a reality. He is achieving his goals because he's putting in the effort. Walt Disney had this mindset and this drive to make Disneyland a reality, and he put in the effort. He actually missed his father's funeral because he was so committed to a business trip that he wouldn't cut it early. How much effort are you willing to put into your goals and dreams? Michael Phelps, when he was training for the Beijing Olympics, he spent 5 years fully committed every single day showing up. He missed his birthday. He missed Christmas. He made sure that he was working on his dreams to become the best Olympic athlete. 5 years, day in and day out. He didn't just become an amazing athlete. Elon Musk isn't just shooting off rockets because he had a dream. He isn't built Tesla because he had a dream. You have to work for it. You have to put in the effort. This is one we've already talked about. Accountability. I won't get too deep into this one because we definitely talked a lot about it on Friday. If you have questions about accountability or would like an accountability partner, please let me know. But I'm a firm believer that you have to hold yourself accountable more than anybody else can. You can have a phenomenal relationship with friends and family and even mentors and coaches to try to hold you accountable, but they're only there for a few moments out of your lifetime, right? You are in charge of your life. You have to continue to hold yourself accountable. Write this one down. I don't break promises to myself. If you try to live by that, you're going to hold yourself accountable, because at the end of the day, when you're journaling and you're writing down your positive and you're saying, oh, I didn't break a promise to myself today because I did blank, you're setting yourself up for small incremental positive success habit changes. M stands for mindset. We've already talked a lot about mindset in the sense that you have to show up with a growth mindset. You have to show up with a learning mindset. I also would say you have to show up with a positive mindset. If you have a fixed mindset and you've lived your entire life until this point and you've told yourself, I can't do that, I won't be able to do that, I'm not good enough to do that, you've trained your brain to believe that. You have to throw all of that out the window. You have to start to teach yourself that you can do more. And if you want somebody to talk to you about this, please reach out, because I want to help you learn a growth positive mindset. Don't get stuck in the fixed mindset. You can attain this, again, through writing it out. Throw away all the negative thoughts. Throw away the negative mindset that you might be telling yourself. Continue to grow. Edison worked on the light bulb over 1,000 times. Colonel Sanders went all across the country trying to sell his secret chicken recipe. And not until the 1010th time did somebody finally agree. And now look at KFC. You have to have a mindset that says, I'm unstoppable. You have to have a mindset that says, I want to be the best version of me, no matter how many obstacles I get, no matter how many setbacks I have. And I know that can be hard, but you have to continue to grow. And lastly, S, sacrifice. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Maybe you are trying to go wake up early every day. That means you can't stay out until 2 a.m. because you need to tell your body and you need to show yourself that you can achieve your goals and dreams. And maybe you want to go out and get ice cream tonight, but your goal is to lose 5 pounds by 14 days from now. It's probably best that you don't go get ice cream. Maybe you want to learn how to read a book and be more proficient in that. The first step is to pick up a book, and it's not going to come easy. You have to make those sacrifices. You have to struggle through it before it becomes easy. So I encourage you to dream big, set goals, and take massive action. We'll talk a little bit more. I have one more concept I want to touch on tomorrow about strategy and getting laser focused. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll just, I'll go over the homework really quickly. Sorry, I was on my computer. I had to grab it. Let me see here. Okay, so tonight's homework for goals and dreams is determine what your number one goal is. Consider this kind of like your New Year's resolution. We're mid-year. Show up for yourself and write it down. Maybe post it on the refrigerator. Make sure, maybe put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it somewhere where you will see it every single day. What is your number one goal? Then I would like for you to, again, you don't have to you don't have to use the sheet I posted in the group, but I encourage you to write down your goals and dreams and your 3 positives from today. So the way when I first started doing this, if this is a blank sheet of paper, I would come down, I would count up 5 lines, I would write a line like this, and then I would say, actually, you probably can't see that. Sorry, guys. So anyway, I'll just explain what I would do. I would come up from the bottom of my paper, and then I would write a line across, and I would go like this, and I would write positives, and goals, and dreams. And I would label it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I would write a short sentence on each one. And I tell you, it's so impactful, it's so powerful to go back and look at these that I highly, highly, highly encourage you to start doing this tonight, because watch your life transform. When your dreams now become your goals and then they become your positives, it will change your life. You will feel so proud and inspired of who you are at your core when you can achieve those. It's inspirational. It'll take you to the next level. And lastly, which we've done all week, is I encourage you to fill out your habit tracker. So I want to thank you guys for showing up tonight. I know I'm a couple minutes over, but this has been so much fun for me. Goals and dreams have changed my life, and really honing in and trying to understand what my personal goals and dreams are is how I'm showing up for you tonight. If this wasn't my goal and my dream and my core purpose and my mission in life, then I wouldn't be here right now. But I hope that you're getting this inspiration. I hope that you're listening and that you're taking action, because you are in charge of your life and you can change your life. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow, and I'm excited. We'll go over that one last step that I was going to mention, but we'll also dive into something more. So thanks for showing up tonight. Have a great one.